What's going on, guys? Welcome to the HydeAndZeke Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube video now.
And we back, third episode. Super excited.
Yep, first time doing video. We got Marcus over here, that way.
Yeah, I gotta keep looking at my thing. I keep looking at you.
It's alright.
I'll pull it up.
So basically what we're going to be doing in this week's episode, we're going to be breaking down all the Week 3 matchups. We're going to be talking about the waiver wire. We're going to do a little bit of victory lap. We're definitely going to do some walking to shame because we had some bad choices last week.
Yeah, I didn't start all best, guys.
No, but Marcus, you got to start us off. Are the Patriots bad?
I can't believe you even just asked me that. Yeah, right now they're not playing well, but just think they're going to be nasty at the end of the season, you know? I think it should be good. We'll see. I think they'll finally figure it out. Josh Gordon's coming back this week, probably. I don't know. We're playing like shit right now, but we'll figure it out. This happens every year. This happened a few years back. People thought we should bench Tom Brady, and then he went to the Super Bowl and won. So I think this is a good omen, if anything.
Yeah, but the team that year was a lot different than the team is now. I think that
we have Josh Gordon, and we're going to be a lot better.
See, I like that. It's just I don't see a lot of talent everywhere on this roster. I see Gronkowski that's getting double teamed, and no one else can get open. I see a running game that is running to the back offensive lineman. There's not huge holes. Brady's making some mistakes. He's not finding the open man, making some bad decisions, just throwing into double coverage, trying to find Philip Dorsett.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fluke. He was just throwing that just to kind of get it was like third down. They were going to punt it anyway. You might as well just throw a bomb.
There was like 6 minutes left in the game. They weren't punting. But I think that Josh Gordon's going to make a big difference. I think that Edelman, as much as I dislike Edelman, will make a difference for Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Dorsett would be able to do something, but I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. But we'll,
No.
I don't know. I mean, the Lions had a good game. They're a good team. My dad was saying, he's like, I can't believe we just lost the Lions. They got spanked by the Jets. But, the Lions are actually good. They had a fluke week 1 when they lost to the Jets, kind of. But, I mean, they got a good team. Their receiving core, I would say, is probably the best in the league.
Yeah, they're solid, all three. I think Golden Tate's a great possession receiver. Kenny Galladay is the best receiver in the league. Not the best, but I think Kenny Galladay is legit. That's the touchdown that he almost had when he dragged his heels.
He literally, he caught that, and I was like, all right, there's no way that's in. We're good. And then I looked back at the replay, and he just, was still like this and just dropped back.
The thing is, if he was 6'6" instead of 6'4", that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
But,
definitely. If he was 6'6", he'd be the best receiver in the league.
Storyline of that game, though, for the Lions, first 100-yard rusher since Reggie Bush.
Yeah, Kerryon Johnson. He had a good game. I'm pumped to have him on my bench in one of my other leagues.
Yeah, I also have him on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to start him against the Pats, especially in that game. Expect it to be a blowout game or just a high-scoring game, which was kind of the opposite. There's a lot of games like that this week. But yeah, Kerryon looks good. They should finally realize they'll give him the rock a little bit more, but we'll see. You never know.
It's still, he had 16 carries for 101 yards, but LeGarrette Blount also had 16 carries for 48 yards.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a revenge game for LeGarrette Blount, which I didn't realize, which would have been a real sneaky sleeper pick.
Sneaky sleeper?
Sneaky sleeper.
Stafford was pretty good, only threw 9 completions, threw a couple touchdown passes. You know, Marvin Jones, out of his 22 targets this year, 8 have been in the end zone.
Yeah, it's because he's a monster in the end zone.
I guess that's who he looks for down in the end zone, which I do like to see Kenny Galladay both scoring a touchdown and getting that back in the end zone, though. So
it's back-to-back weeks where Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones both scored a touchdown, and the Lions have won in both games. So, I mean...
That's not true.
Yeah, they did.
They
lost last week. Oh, yeah, true. But, hey, back-to-back games, they both scored a touchdown. That's a good sign.
All right, so enough of the Patriots losing. They lost.
Let's go to another team
What about the upset of the century?
Yeah.
In the last 17 years, Vegas hasn't had a bigger upset than the Bills as 16.5-point underdogs going into Minnesota and stomping the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, you knew that game was over once Josh Allen jumped over that dude. He was a monster. He hurdled him like it was crazy, like a track star. But no, Josh Allen had a pretty good game. 15 for 22, nothing crazy. Only 7 incompletions, but had 1 passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns. I mean, he was kind of all over the place. He kind of showed that he was worth the draft pick, and maybe he'll be better than Mahomes long term. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Chris Ivory, perfect game script for him. Didn't get much done on the ground, under 3 yards of carry, but was involved in the passing game, led the team in receiving yards.
Which is kind of bad.
Yeah,
Like, you
no,
think,
I mean,
like,
who
if
even
you
has to? Like,
But I mean,
Zay
like,
Jones?
if you told me that the Bills scored 27 points, I would be like, all right, like Kelvin Benjamin probably had a touchdown.
True.
Charles Clay might have done something. Like, I mean, you'd think at least one of those guys would have some volume, but literally, I think the most receptions someone had was 4 receptions, and
Yeah.
Chris Ivory led the team in yards. Like, it's just not good. But Kirk Cousins, he had a pretty tough game. They threw the ball 55 times, obviously, because of the game script. 296, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But the real disappointment this week was Latavius Murray.
Might have been the number 1 play on FanDuel and DraftKings. Everyone had him.
Everyone.
Super cheap. He had like a 42% start rate, and he ends the game with how many carries?
2.
2 carries. How'd that go?
It went really well. He got a full
yard.
Full yard. It's quality.
Diggs was shadowed by Tre'Davious White. Not too much to say there, but Adam Thielen.
That guy is sneaky. He's so sneaky. Steve, we got drafted. He was the first receiver in the 3rd round to go in our draft.
We thought it was early.
Yeah, I was like, that's a joke. I can't believe you just picked him right there. And he's going off. He gets like double-digit catches every game, and he's over 100 yards for another game. So pencil him in for a monster game pretty much every week. And once it comes down to like the last 4 minutes in the game, that's when he gets all of his
Yeah,
points.
he had like 6 catches in the first 3.5 quarters. And then you told me Adam Thielen had a big game. I was like, what, do you have like 7 catches? No, he had like 8 more catches at the end of the 4th quarter.
It gets annoying when you're playing him because it sucks. Speaking of people who suck, Eli Manning actually won a game.
He only had 4 incompletes.
Yeah, it was kind of impressive. Good for
No
him.
turnover. Wait, did he have a fumble? No interceptions.
No interceptions. Let's be happy for him. I mean,
Saquon looks good on the ground.
Yeah, no, he did. Odell had a good game, like we said. I mean, kind of guaranteed to do well after a bad performance. Sterling Shepard actually was surprisingly pretty good in this game.
I think that had a lot to do with Evan Ingram going down with that knee injury.
Oh.
Evan Ingram right now is considered week to week. That's never good to hear when it comes to the knees. Rhett Ellison, which we'll hear in our waiver wire. You know it's bad tight end year when Rhett Ellison is a potential pickup. But he caught all 3 of his targets for 39 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Odell had another quiet 9 for 109. Kind of similar to that week 1 game against the Jags.
Yeah, but I mean, the Texans lost. I picked them to win this game, which kind of sucked, but I mean, it's not the biggest deal.
Deshaun Watson's running for his life. He has no offensive line. And Lamar Miller with an amazing 10 carries for 10 yards.
Yeah, but Deshaun Watson, I was looking at some stats on him, and last year he only has 1 more touchdown this year than he did last year at this point. Like, he's played pretty bad this year. Everyone
That's true.
seems to think he had like the same amount of turnovers as last year. He has literally 1 more touchdown, and then he went on to score 17 touchdowns in the next 4 games. Five games.
I put in 2 trade offers in 2 leagues yesterday for DeAndre Hopkins. I am trying to buy low on DeAndre Hopkins before Watson and him have a breakout game because nothing looks much different in their offense than last year. And I just, I might be offering a lot, but I offered up Juju and Mark Ingram for Hopkins.
Like together?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I offered Devontae Adams and I want to say Nelson Aguilar for DeAndre Hopkins.
I would definitely do the Juju Mark Ingram trade for sure.
If you were getting those 2,
Juju, yeah, I would do that.
it got denied in like an hour. I was confused. I was like, you didn't even think about it. That seems like a pretty fair deal.
I thought that was good. I mean, Sean was saying that yesterday how he tried to trade Josh Gordon, Alex Collins for Kareem Hunt a few weeks ago, and he's like, maybe I should have paid attention to that because Kareem Hunt's just not looking that great.
Is my guy Will Fuller the number 1 in Houston?
I would say he's definitely the number 2, but that helps him be the number 1.
Yeah,
kind of like
Hopkins
Juju.
gets so much attention.
Yeah.
They asked yesterday after the game. They asked Antonio with how good Juju's doing. Do you think teams are soon going to start rolling coverage to his side and open you up more? And he says, I hope they do it soon. So I think that's kind of what's going on with Will Fuller. At least the number 1 is on Hopkins, if not the number 1 plus a safety. So Will Fuller is just, he's played 2 games this season, over 100 yards and a touchdown in both.
Yeah, no, he's solid. I mean, you're playing him every week. He's good.
But
he stays healthy.
You're playing him every week, but he's a top 15 play. I don't even think he's like wide receiver 2 anymore. Like high-end wide receiver 2. Back end wide receiver 1.
Yeah, because I mean, he's pretty much guaranteed a touchdown or over 100 yards every time.
Another slow start. Aaron Rodgers has his slowest start since 2014 this year.
It's once when people get paid, they don't want to play. Like you give a man a huge contract, he's like, "Word, I'm good." What? How much guaranteed? It was a boatload guaranteed.
It was
like
20.
Yeah, enough to
like 186 million.
Yeah, his grandkids are gonna be fine.
Yeah. The Packers lose by 2 touchdowns in Washington.
Yeah.
The Redskins are they're playing weird. They beat up on Cardinals week 1, then they lost to the Colts, and they beat up on the Packers week 3.
It's literally just run game dependent. Like you see, AP went off this game.
You can pretty much tell if they're going to win or lose based on AP's stat line, it looks like.
Yeah, because I mean, they're 2-1 and AP's gone off 2 times. So I mean, I guess if you think the Redskins are going to win that week, then play AP, and then you'll be good.
Fair enough.
Chris Thompson didn't really do anything. He had 6 carries.
Last week either, too. He's definitely quieted down.
You might be good to buy on someone once they start getting down on players. I mean, the Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones.
What do you think about the Packers' backfield?
I don't know. I mean, even if Aaron Jones takes the backfield, I mean, I feel like we're going to have to see it in more of a win. Like, once they actually start winning games. Like, they were kind of getting blown out this whole time. But since they were blown out, you'd think Jamal Williams would have a better game just because you'd assume he'd be in there for pass protection in the shotgun.
Ty Montgomery actually had, 7 targets in the passing game.
Yeah, he actually had a pretty good game. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not starting either of these guys anytime soon. Like, maybe when bye weeks start coming around, maybe I'll pop one of them in if it's worth it. But
I'm trying to buy Aaron Jones for the rest of the season. He looks like a much better runner than Jamal Williams.
He definitely, I mean, he was averaging a pretty decent amount for carry, 7 yards, which is solid.
Not much else to say in this game. Both tight ends we thought could both have a big week. Both kind of quiet. Graham, 545.
4 for 65.
Yeah, same. Yeah, but they both
Vernon Davis got
9.5.
Vernon Davis got 2 receptions for 70 yards though. So if Jordan Reed goes down, Alex Smith is going to link up with his boy.
He's always that nice handcuff.
Yeah.
One of the biggest surprises and kind of disappointments of the week is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. I mean, I just like the Jimmy G hype train. I love shooting it down, but that was a real bummer.
Yeah, confirmed torn ACL.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of sucks because I feel like everyone's hitting with a lot of shade just because he's like, oh, I should have just ran out of bounds. But I mean, he planted to just not, to get an extra yard or something. But you see guys do it all the time. He just tweaked it the wrong way. It happens,
Earlier in that game, I thought the torn ACL was when I saw Matt Breida come up with.
Exactly.
That was gross.
Yeah,
and he's fine. Then Garoppolo's the one that has the season ender, which is kind of a downgrade for the entire offense.
Yeah.
The only silver lining would be either if you're a Pierre Garçon owner, or if you look at it, CJ Beathard, who's going to be starting for Jimmy Garoppolo, loves throwing to the running backs. So if you're a Matt Breida owner, I think that he's going to see more loaded boxes because they don't respect the pass as much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think his receptions and targets every game will go up. So it'll probably be offset. I think he's going to be a little bit less efficient in the run game, a little bit more active in the pass game.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes had a pretty solid game, obviously, 3 touchdowns. I mean, they were up 35.
Worst game of his career.
Yeah, so far. I wouldn't say career.
Worst game of the season.
The season, there we go. I mean, they were up 35-0 at halftime, so it's hard to stay motivated and actually come out and start trying again. So, I mean, they let up a little bit. That's where the score line comes from when the 49ers scored 27 points.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if I told you they were up 35-0 at halftime, you think Kareem Hunt would have had a monster rushing game. He had 44 yards. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns, but he seems like he's really touchdown dependent.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where before last week, I really wanted to buy low on him. I even made an offer. I offered Joe Mixon and Cam Newton for Kareem Hunt. And I'm glad it got shut down because I'm not confident Kareem Hunt will be a feature in this offense with Pat Mahomes in there, just the way that's been going so far.
No, I mean, Andy Reid always does something stupid. Come mid-season, he's like, we're playing nasty. I know we can play well. Let's lose some games, and let's just go away from what we're doing well and try to do some random stuff that might work, but probably doesn't. But, I mean, it's good for the rest of the AFC. That way they actually take some L's and people can start to figure them out. Sammy Watkins is a good
guy.
Yeah, he's good, solid.
Sammy Watkins, 5 for 51 and a touchdown, and 2 carries for 20 yards. Yeah. He's legit. I know everyone was giving me shit for Sammy Watkins before the season, but he's a legit talent. There's a reason that he was drafted 4th overall, and he's on a crazy offense. He's not the first look. He's not the second look. But if defenses start saying, hey, I don't want that guy Tyreek Hill to beat me.
Which kind of seems like is what's happening. Yeah. But, I mean, I feel like
Sammy Watkins is going to beat second corners in the league all day.
Yeah, I mean Tyreek Hill's like I feel like you have to cover him, like double cover him too, because he's so fast. Like,
and you can't double cover with the safety because you need that safety help on Travis Kelce running at the seam.
Yeah, they're a problem. I mean, hopefully they slow down a little bit for the Patriots' sake, but we'll see. They show no
we
signs.
get that Patriots Chiefs, I think, in 3 weeks. I think that's week 6.
Chiefs Rams. Who's a better offense right now?
Rams?
Yeah.
Chiefs. It's not even close.
Who do you think wins the game if they play each other in like week 4?
Chiefs.
Chiefs. I don't know. I feel like the Rams win that game.
Why?
I mean, granted, if you didn't have Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib injured, I think they'd win that game. Just because.
What have you seen from Patrick Mahomes that shows you that he's going to get stopped by anybody?
The Rams' defensive line is pretty solid, and the Rams control the run game. Like they'll keep Patrick Mahomes off the field.
That's true. That is one good point. They have never seen an offensive line that looks as dominant as the Rams this year. Even the Cowboys, back when Zeke Elliott was a rookie, that was a dominant offensive line. But this offensive line might be better. Yeah. Todd Gurley doesn't get touched until 5 yards down the field. Jared Goff at least has 6 seconds to look for somebody to throw to.
Mm-hmm.
That offensive line is legit. I think those are 2 really solid Super Bowl contenders right now.
Yeah, I mean we should just talk about that game while we're on them. I mean they beat the Chargers 35-23. Rivers had a decent game. The game was actually, it was pretty it was close. It was closer than the score.
It's closer than the final score because it was 28-20 going into the 4th, I think, or right at the beginning of the 4th. It was 28-20. You know, 1-score game. Rivers looked good. He kept it clean. Didn't throw an interception. Melvin Gordon was solid, which we knew he would be.
No touchdown. Mike Williams showed up.
Mike Williams is not quietly becoming a stud in this league.
Yeah. I mean, Keenan Allen was getting blanketed, obviously. I mean, their corners are amazing, so you're going to see that. I think, but both of them went down, so that's when the Chargers started to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's when Jared Goff threw a pick, but he got 3 touchdowns, man. I mean, he was kind of slinging the ball. Brandon Cooks was getting wide open, but I think the real storyline of the Rams offense this week was Robert Woods.
And we will hold off on Robert Woods until victory lap because I did one thing right last week, and we'll talk about that in a bit.
All right. We can go back up. We'll go to, the Titans-Jags, they played.
That was a 9-6 ugly game. We're not talking
about that.
Titans win. Somehow the Titans beat the Jags.
Yeah.
With a combined effort between Blaine Gabbert and Marcus Mariota that couldn't feel his elbow.
Yeah.
We don't know who the Jaguars are.
And if you're starting Blake Bortles on your team and you're pissed about how he did, well, your team blows ass and you shouldn't be starting Blake Bortles in the first place.
Pick up Ryan Tannehill and start over Blake Bortles.
Oh my God. Let's talk about Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, let's go to the Dolphins.
Undefeated Dolphins. 28-20, they beat the Raiders. The Raiders, they've been in games. They're 0-3, but they've been in most of their games besides the first one.
They've been in it. Like, they're playing in it. They're just...
they're all one-score games. Like, they lost to the Broncos last week off field goal. But
what about the Rams?
The Rams...
They got to be pretty good.
Yeah, but the Rams beating everyone by 2 scores at least. But yeah, Ryan Tannehill had a good game. They just do a lot. Didn't he have 2 touchdowns off those touch passes?
Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. It's a passing touchdown.
Yeah, but it's like those things are kind of weird. And I was hearing someone talk about those, saying that what happens if they don't catch it? Is it a fumble?
It's incomplete because it's a pass.
But isn't it still?
Why would that be a fumble? It's forced pass.
I feel like it would be a fumble because it's still behind the line.
Yeah,
but I feel like he never really catches it though. Like it's not like he has the ball.
It depends. That's what it depends.
Lets it go.
If
I feel like they just do a tap.
Yeah, and that's what it depends on. If they do a replay and if he just literally taps it, then that's that's probably a fumble.
I don't know.
But if he holds it, it's a forward pass.
I feel like they're gonna have to make a clear rule on that coming up soon, just because a lot of teams are doing that.
If I told you before any matchup, what Marshawn Lynch's line is going to look like, isn't it always 19 for 64 and a touchdown?
Yeah, it's guaranteed.
That's just what he does.
50, 60 yards and he's getting a touchdown.
He doesn't get 100 yards. He doesn't get less than 10 carries.
He's not a pretty player by any means when it comes to fantasy, but
you know what you're getting out of him.
He's consistent. Yeah, bank on the touchdown. You might as well. Maybe he needs to stop scoring because he's scored in every game and the Raiders haven't won one.
Is Jordan Nelson 24 or 34?
I think
because Sunday he looked
balling. That's what he is.
Wide open on the entire game.
It's every single week. You see Derek Carr target one guy.
That's true.
And
Jared Cook, Mark Cooper, Jordan Nelson.
And so next week, I'm hoping it's right back to Jared Cook, but we'll see. But yeah, no, six receptions, 173 yards, 1 touchdown.
He's not someone I'm like rushing the waiver wire to pick up, even though he's not available a lot of places. Like you said, I think Derek Carr locks on.
Yeah, but I mean, he could be a solid.
I'm never starting him.
If it's like a bye week, I mean, you could stash him. Someone gets injured.
Yeah,
he's a good stash on your team. Amari Cooper, obviously doing Amari Cooper things. Everyone decided to start him. He played like shit.
That's what happened.
Yeah, that's why I don't start him. Once I heard everyone was playing him, I was like, nope, not playing him, and it worked out pretty well for me at one of my leagues.
Last thing I want to touch on there is Kenyon Drake killed me in daily fantasy and in my leagues because, he's coming into this matchup, Raiders can't stop the run. Dolphins are running the ball a ton. And then he gets 5 carries for 3 yards.
Yes.
On a 3-0 team that's leading, they only ran 39 plays all game.
Yeah.
Like, that's just inexcusable, and I don't know what that means for the rest of the season. I don't even know how to take that. You can't treat Drake as, like, a running back 2 anymore until he proves different. Like, he's a flex guy at best right now.
Yeah. One more thing, though, is, like, when Kenny Still scored that touchdown, did you see how he smashed into the wall?
Did you see it happen in the Tampa Bay game last night, too?
I was like, wow.
What is this new thing with the end zone having a wall, like, a foot behind it?
I just didn't realize it was that close. I was like, what is going on? Like, maybe it's a Florida thing, but...
There's a reason that in baseball, there's a warning track because it turns from grass to dirt. So when you're running, you don't have to look at it, and hey, this feels different. Maybe I'm about to run into a wall in 2 steps.
Or like maybe put some like padding on like the wall or something.
Or just don't have a wall right there.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something that the NFL.
We're talking about player safety. We can't even sack a quarterback, but we can have people running into a wall.
Yeah, like so. Roger Goodell, once you're listening to this, actually change this because this is.
Yeah, and stop watching our show because we don't like you, Roger.
But tell the rest of the NFL to watch it. Colts Eagles. Andrew Luck had a pretty decent game. I almost called the upset. For the Colts.
It was a close ball game. The Colts were up 16-13 with like 7 minutes to go. Carson Wentz return. How do you look?
I think it was pretty solid.
Yeah. You see him try to escape a lot on pressures. He looked like his normal self. Spinning out of pressure and running.
Yeah, I think they were really careful on how long.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they were going to wait. There's no point rushing it, especially if you're winning games with Nick Foles. Corey Clement wasn't that great. Yeah. Wendell Smallwood stole it. Not really big deal.
I hate that backfield. I have Jay Ajayi in one league, and I'm just not a huge fan. Great offensive line. Everyone's always hurt. It's always a committee. It's Carson Wentz. Like, even if he's not passing to 10 different players, he'll hand the ball off to 10 different players. Even Zach Ertz, had 5 for 73, but the other tight end, Dallas Goedert, 7 for 73 and a touchdown. So
yeah, I mean, Dallas Goedert, would you pick him up?
He is on my waiver wire article for this week. On waiver savers, for sure.
We'll get to him then. Bengals Panthers. Panthers won by 10. This game wasn't super crazy.
No.
AJ Green went down with a injury for a little bit. I'm not sure if he left the game completely or not. But Tyler Boyd had a pretty decent game.
He's awesome. I love Tyler Boyd this season.
He's solid. Andy Dalton really showed up doing.
He goes from 4 touchdown passes on Thursday night to 4 interceptions the next game. It's just that's what you get from Andy Dalton. Anybody that thinks that, I saw Matthew Berry tweeting them up all week. Since the last 16 games that Andy Dalton's played with Bill Lazor as his offensive coordinator, he's thrown X amount of touchdowns. Listen, Barry, I get it. He's fine. But this is what you're going to get a lot of times when you start Andy Dalton.
Yeah, the Red Rocket just doesn't like the expectations.
I saw somebody on Twitter say, can we please stop calling Andy Dalton Red Rifle? Red Rocket and call him Red Rifle? Because you've ever seen your boy dog with a boner, you know what a Red Rocket is. So
that's a good point. One big thing though was McCaffrey in this game. He had 28 carries, which is a lot of carries for McCaffrey.
He's on pace for 350 touches this year, which is what they said he would get.
Yeah, and he's 184 yards that game, and he only had 2 catches.
184 rushing yards.
Yeah, which is great to see from McCaffrey. Like if he can get it done in. Whether the game's like a blowout and he's getting handed the ball or then he's playing catch up and he's catching like 14 passes out of the backfield, he's just game proof. I would start him any matchup. I don't think it matters.
They saw something on tape because you should have seen how much they were just trying to pound the ball right down the middle with McCaffrey. They kept having huge holes and he was exploiting it. He had his career high 45-yard carry. He just looked explosive all day. They weren't doing anything crazy. Just lead draws, simple dives. It was pretty simple game plan, and they just blocked him up well, and McCaffrey exploited the holes.
Yeah, I feel like you don't really see guys like that who can catch passes like out of the backfield. Like those type of backs really successfully run through the offense, like in the holes and stuff. But
Cam Newton was kind of a vulture. Like you know it's going to happen.
He's
Cam
gonna
Newton,
be,
He's 6'6", the strongest guy at his position, and probably not the fastest player at his position anymore, but one of the most athletic players in the NFL. I always call Cam Newton the Russell Westbrook of the NFL, and it's just because, if you're a safety, you're not as strong as him. If you're a linebacker, you're not as fast as him. He's just a nightmare to try to stop near the goal line.
Yeah, he'd be pretty nasty at basketball too.
He's just a super athlete. He's a freak.
It's because he dunks the football in the end zone. It's dope. Broncos, Ravens. This game wasn't too crazy. I mean,
yeah, we'll just talk about Alex Collins and Buck Allen.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Collins had a pretty decent game. 18 carries, 68 yards, and a touchdown.
But Buck Allen is always there.
He's there, yeah.
You can't get rid of him.
No, you can't. But you can't be mad about the stat line as long as he's getting like one of the touchdowns. Like Javoris Allen, he had a nice reception touchdown. But Alex Collins would not have gotten right there.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he got that touchdown. He stole a goal line carry. But
one question that was, I went back and forth on this week because Ariana had a question. Both are on the waiver wire. You have to pick one. Buck Allen or Chris Carson the rest of the season? Who do you want at running back?
Oh, I'd take Buck Allen.
The thing is, I initially told her Chris Carson, and then I went back to her yesterday and I said, I lied, I want Buck Allen.
I mean, Chris Carson, he had a good game. Maybe he's the number one, but it's like, look at the team he's on. Like, they don't lead a lot of games.
That's true. And it's a bad offensive line. They're not going to have a lot of game scripts like that yesterday when they got out to an early lead. They just wanted to pound the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Buck Allen gets touchdowns,
Game of the week, Saints-Falcons, huh?
Yeah, it was a
barn burner.
Doozy.
80 points scored.
Yeah. Drew Brees did amazing, 3 touchdowns. I think he had probably the nastiest spin move of all time since I've seen.
Yeah,
since,
he definitely hit that B
straight.
button to tie up that game late in the fourth quarter.
It was nice. I'd be upset if I was one of those Falcon guys. I'm sure their teammates were giving him a hard time once they got over the loss.
Is Alvin Kamara a running back or a wide receiver?
He's just a player.
Because he's the best at both.
He's a cheat
code. Le'Veon Bell wants to be considered a running back and a wide receiver. Start doing some Alvin Kamara things.
Who do you think finishes better at the end of the season, Kamara or Gurley, number 1 running back?
Ariana asked me if I was redrafting right now and if I'm drafting next year, who I take number 1 overall. It's Alvin Kamara.
Yeah,
Todd Gurley.
Yeah, I'd take Todd Gurley number 2 though.
Yeah, for sure.
Michael Thomas, another double-digit reception game.
Broke just another record. Was he have 38 catches through 3 weeks now?
I mean, the Saints actually won a game on the road. This could be lethal. They could seriously do some damage against teams if they get their road act together. So we'll see what happens.
Player of the game, though, for sure.
Calvin Ridley.
The Falcons finally found a number 2 receiver in Julio Jones.
It's ridiculous though, because I was playing against some kid in one of my other leagues, and he has Chris Carson in all week. So I was like, this is gonna be an easy dub. He's just got Chris Carson in his flex. His team's trash. And then all of a sudden I look, and he sneaks Calvin Ridley in there Sunday morning, and I was like, all right, well I'm sure Calvin Ridley won't do amazing. And 3 touchdowns later, it was ridiculous.
146 receiving yards.
Yeah,
real legit red zone threat. He is the opposite of Julio, not allergic to scoring touchdowns, and that could be really a difference maker. I wasn't high on Matt Ryan heading into the season, but if Calvin Ridley plays like this, Matt Ryan putting up 5 touchdowns yesterday, he might be legit. Back end quarterback 1.
Yeah, definitely worth a start in these high.
Matt Ryan or Philip Rivers?
Philip Rivers. Yeah, I mean, Matt Ryan's good occasionally, but Philip Rivers is going to get you consistently 30 points.
Bears Cardinals. Only thing I want to touch on is Josh Rosen potentially being the starter this week. What do you think that means for the Cardinals offense as a whole, if anything?
I don't know. I mean, you didn't see. You only saw him for a drive. I think it's really stupid of them to actually put him in the game that late in the game.
Of course, they haven't made a lot of great decisions.
Yeah, they made a lot of decisions that game. I mean, I think it might help the team. It might not. Just boost some confidence. I mean, Sam Bradford just doesn't look comfortable at all with anything. So I mean, if Josh Rosen can get comfortable and start throwing the ball, I feel like Larry Fitzgerald might do a little bit better. Because if I was a QB that was a rookie, I would throw it to Larry Fitzgerald every time. Because, I mean, he's got sure hands and he's going to make himself open.
Yeah, I think Josh Rosen is. It can't be a downgrade from Sam Bradford. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. I think that David Johnson might be a little bit more involved. I think Christian Kirk is his number one target.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I want to touch on. And then lastly, let's recap last night's game between the Steelers and the Buccaneers in Tampa.
Oh, dude. This was actually a really good game. Big Ben.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It sucked fantasy-wise. I was in 2 nail-biters all night. I had Mike Evans versus Juju and Chris Godwin. And on the other end, I had Juju and O.J. Howard versus Antonio Brown. And I'll let you know how they ended later, but one of them was really cool, and one of them had Juju catching a stupid pass at the very end of the game.
Yeah, Big Ben did some things on the road, 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. He threw 1 pick. He was actually pretty pissed about it. You don't see him throwing too much emotion in there.
Yeah. What do you think about all these roughing the passer calls?
I mean, there were some in there that were really soft. I mean, I think
The
there's
Jason Pierre-Paul one on Ben when they said he hit his head and he just
they tapped his head and Ben just flopped like he was.
I really think we might be seeing more flops from quarterbacks because it's a 15-yard penalty. If you have a drive stall and you just go down like he hit you in the head, you like snap your knee back. Like they picked up a call when Cameron Hayward dove at Fitzpatrick's knees, and Fitzpatrick kind of flopped on top of him, and they threw a flag. And then Cameron Hayward went over to argue with the ref, and he's like, and the ref has his mic on. He's like, no, it's not a penalty. Like he was afraid that Cameron Hayward was going to come over and pummel him.
That's fine. I mean, I feel like they're calling a lot of them now just to kind of get people like used to it,
Mm-hmm.
so like people start actually watching out for it because it's going to take some time to adapt. But I feel like once it's like the middle towards the end of the season, they'll kind of soften it up and start to actually like see like what's happening and kind of adjust that way.
Does Chris Conte love getting stiff armed?
It looked like
You see the one 3 years ago when Fred Jackson got him really bad, and then I think Vance McDonald got him even worse last night.
Jackson. Wow. Yeah, Vance McDonald was just like, little boy. It was awesome. Like, he just absolutely, literally, I went home and I turned the game on, and that was literally the first play I saw.
Awesome.
Was just him just, like, oh my god. My mom was like, can he do that? Are you sure that's okay? And I was like, oh man, it was great.
Mike Evans was great to watch. Another wide receiver 1 performance. He's been a wide receiver 1 all 3 games. I posted on Instagram about him last night. It's so good to have him back because he's kind of like Cam Newton. He's every other year. 2 years ago, top 3 wide receiver. Last year, he was a bum. This year, top 3 wide receiver. And I really think that I was tough because I went running back, and then in the 3rd round, there wasn't great receivers that were around him. I had Adam Thielen came off the board. Next was AJ Green, and then next was Tyreek Hill. And all 3 good options. I have Mike Evans ahead of 2 of them. And I could have either won another running back because Jordan Howard fell. But I just was really believing in Mike Evans this year. And I think that he's shown that, they're looking for him deep. They're looking for him in the end zone. They're looking for him intermediate. I love what Mike Evans is doing this season.
Yeah, he's doing really well. Fitzpatrick was kind of showing up in the
That's
first...
what he does.
He showed up in the first half with like 3 picks. One of them was a pick 6, like right before halftime. It was a tough day for him, but then he just broke out the wand, turning it back into Fitzmagic. It was sick. And now I think he's like...
I think his spot's secured for at least 1 more week.
Yeah, he's like the first quarterback in NFL history to have 3 400-yard games to start the season. Like, it's insane. I mean, I think he should definitely play next week. He has a tough matchup against the Bears, so I feel like that might rattle him a little bit. It seems like he was just taking a long time in the pocket. Like, he's just not the quickest decision maker, but...
He's just a gunslinger.
Yeah, he's the definition of a gunslinger. But did you see that video of him just, like, absolutely freaking out, where his, like, eyes are just, like...
Oh, yeah, after that touchdown when they picked him up, his offensive lineman picked him up.
Oh, dude, that was the sickest thing I've ever seen. I feel like he's just going to retire into the woods with, like, a bunch of rifles and camo. And
a bunch of kids. They were talking about how he has his 7th child on the way. He's
really?
He's trying to be the next Phil Purvis.
He'd be a great... Wait, Phil Purvis has a lot of kids?
He has 8.
Wow. Is it with one lady?
Yeah, Phil Purvis is like a family guy. He's like
I can see him, yeah.
He didn't even move. He took a customized truck to work when they moved from San Diego to LA because he didn't want to take all his kids out of school. So he has like a truck that he can sit in the back and watch game film. and he would drive with their backup quarterback to practice every day, and he would just watch game film.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I feel like Ryan Fitzpatrick, though, he'd be a great person for Wrangler. He could be the next Wrangler guy.
He could, whenever Brett Favre's done doing his things.
Oh, yeah, dude. Or he could literally, like, pass the torch. Like, imagine Brett Favre just, like, taking off his jeans.
In a commercial,
just giving them to Ryan Fitzpatrick. Oh, my God.
He could give him his razors because he does Gillette. Does he do Gillette commercials? Or he does a razor commercial. I forget what brand.
Who, Brett Favre?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's Gillette.
It's Gillette. You can just be like, Fitzpatrick. And Fitzpatrick's just like, nah.
Yeah, he would, like, take it and like,
give me the jeans.
Yeah, just give me the jeans. Alright, I mean, that's pretty much it for the recap.
Yeah, so it's Tuesday, which means all your waiver wire transactions go through tomorrow. There's not a lot of people that stand out this week, again, kind of like last week, because there wasn't very many big injuries, but a couple of the quarterbacks that stand out, my guy Ryan Tannehill, your guy Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah, Baker Mayfield. I think he should be solid.
Pick one of those two.
I mean, obviously.
Seriously though.
Baker Mayfield.
Wow.
Why would I take Tannehill? I'm never gonna start him.
Why'd you start Baker Mayfield?
Just in case, I mean, he could explode. Like, he has a lot higher ceiling. Like, you know what you're gonna get from Tannehill.
Yeah, but Ryan Tannehill has that rushing floor.
Damn it, you don't think Baker Mayfield's gonna run the ball?
I think if you need a starter next week, say you have Cam Newton on bye, you had Jimmy Garoppolo, I'd rather have Ryan Tannehill for the short term. Next week he's against the Patriots in a high-scoring matchup. Baker Mayfield, I don't love Baker Mayfield starting in his first away game. No, but you're right. I think season long, Baker's pretty exciting. If you need a guy now, I like Tannehill a lot.
I mean, if you have like an extra roster spot and you just want to like toss him in there, I would pick Baker just because Tannehill. No one's gonna pick up Tannehill.
Is Chris Ivory worth a pickup after his game versus the Vikings?
I mean, do you really think the Bills are going to win all the games? Like,
no.
The Vikings do it every year. There's always like a fluke game where they get.
He needs to be ahead too, I think, to be usable. Yeah. It's just it is kind of another shallow season for running backs. So it's like there are people that need a running back, and they could easily have Leonard Fournette and Joe Mixon on the same team like me.
Yeah. Well, it's just because there's so many running backs that just don't perform. I mean, like you see, like it's just you don't want to start the running backs. Like you get those guys that get like 10 points a week. But it's like, do you really want to start that guy or like take a risk and actually have someone who could score like 16 to 20?
Yeah.
I mean, there's 10 points. Like no one really loses by 4 points.
Tyler Boyd. Yeah. I mean, he's legit. He's literally in a breakout season. I think that the first time he did it, week 1 he had a good game. Everyone's like, oh, it's still Tyler Boyd. Week 2, okay, do we have to pay attention to this guy? He just killed the Ravens for 6 for 91 touchdown. And then this week, 6 for 131 yards and a touchdown. I mean, this was with A.J. Green getting hurt a couple times, but I think without A.J. Green, he's either a really low-end wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver 3. But without A.J. Green, like, he's a wide receiver 2.
Tyler Boyd or Marvin Jones.
Without A.J. Green? Or with?
You can keep A.J. Green on the field.
Marvin Jones.
Without A.J. Green?
Tyler Boyd.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like
unless it's a standard league, because I think Marvin Jones is way more likely to score touchdowns than Tyler Boyd. Yeah. PPR, give me Tyler Boyd. He's going to be more involved in the offense.
I mean, Christian Kirk, he did pretty solid. You could pick him up. I think I'd wait on him though. I mean,
this is like more of like a deep league.
Yeah. If you're like a 12-teamer, or it's like you really need someone. If you just have an open roster spot, or if like
it's a flyer. When you're at the end of your draft and you're like, hey. This guy, I don't need him to play, but if he explodes, I'd rather be on my roster.
Yeah. Dallas Goedert could be really good, though. He's someone, I mean, they love the 2 tight end sets you saw last year with Trey Burton. It could go well. I mean, tight end's just a tough position right now. Yeah. Carson Wentz loves passing him, so I mean, it's worth picking him up if you're rostering 2 tight ends. It could be worth, I think I'm going to drop Jesse James for him. I mean, Jesse James he's
if
solid.
You have Evan Ingram as your starter, where he's hurt,
things like that. I mean, there's
just so many people that you could have drafted that just are bad.
Yeah, and people who didn't go drafted who actually were good for a little bit, like Will Disley, but he kind of plunged this week.
Exactly, that's hurt.
Tough. Yeah, it's tough.
Brad Ellison, backup for the Giants. Evan Ingram, week to week with that knee injury. Week to week with knee is never good. He came in, he scored a touchdown. I'm not jumping up and down because I got Brad Ellison on my team because I'm so excited, but tight end is just so ugly this year that you might need him. So
yeah,
It's another option.
It's tough.
Defensively, there's no one like that has great matchups this week. Miami just continues to be one of the best defenses in the league for fantasy. Everyone wants to say, oh, they're going to Gillette. You don't want to play a defense in New England, but New England doesn't scare me this year. I'm a huge Pats fan, but New England doesn't scare anybody. I don't know. Do you think Josh Gordon plays this week?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't.
They said they held him out based on his hamstring, not having anything to do with the playbook.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I mean, what's the point? Like, you're playing against. This game is kind of big, honestly, just because we can't really go 1-3, and the fact that they'll be 4-0 and then we'll lose to them in our division.
3 games back in the division. We're already 2 games back.
But I mean, like, it's not really worth with a hamstring.
Yeah,
it's not really worth it. I think we just need to actually get our act together and kind of.
Yeah, because what do you realistically think the Dolphins finish this year? I mean, they're 3-0 now, but even if they go 4-0, you think they're going to go 12-4? Never.
I would say
you think they're going to go 11-5?
I would say 11-5 at best, but probably around the 10-6 range.
10-6, 9-7. Like right now, how they are, I think they're a 9-7 team. I think if the Patriots get to 11 wins, we win the division regardless.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. The Dolphins just. I don't know. I mean, you just see it every year where you have these teams that are undefeated, and then they just go and blow it. Like they just don't. They stop.
And the Dolphins aren't dominant anywhere.
No, it's like they haven't been able. Like they run the ball a little bit. Like they have good backs, but I mean they can't run the ball. It's not.
They have a pretty solid defense. I think that Cameron Wake historically loves terrorizing Tom Brady. So that's not something
I feel like there's a lot of guys that do. Definitely. I mean, is it pretty much?
That's pretty much it for the waiver wire. Like we said, pretty thin for the week. But there's obviously guys out there that you have positional needs. Your team got hurt. It's always based on what your team is, what you have. But that's about it for waiver wire. What we want to do right now, on Saturday we did our Hail Mary picks, right? Guys that are ranked outside the top 12 at quarterback, outside the top 36 at wide receiver, running back. And, we kind of try to make bold predictions. So, right now we're going to do a victory lap, where we're going to say who we did right on, but also the walk of shame, where we kind of messed up. Marcus, our quarterbacks weren't that great, right?
I mean, Jimmy G didn't do terrible.
Neither did Andrew Luck.
Yeah, but Jimmy G went down, so maybe
Jimmy G went down, yes.
I might have jinxed him, but the quarterbacks...
So quarterbacks we picked Andrew Luck and Jimmy G.
They kind of finished right around their range.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. We thought the Andrew Luck, we didn't know it was going to be rainy, all Philadelphia game. It didn't make too big of a difference, but it happened. Jimmy G died.
Oh, wow.
It happens.
Jeez. All right, running backs, though. Sony Michel, you picked him?
Yeah, Sony Michel kind of got, how many carries did he have? Do you know?
14.
14 carries. I mean, realistically, I thought that on 14 carries, that would mean really good things for him. I thought the Patriots would be leading. I thought we'd be trying to salt away the clock. Neither of those things happened. No. And he didn't look that great in the passing game, so if he's not getting in the end zone, he's not going to be a fantastic
dude, he's got bricks for hands. He tried to,
which is weird because he didn't in college, so I don't anticipate that being a problem moving forward.
No, just the way he was looking, like when he was trying to turn around, maybe his body control when he was running, or just wasn't expecting the ball right when he turned around. But I don't know, it was tough. We'll see what happens this week. I started him, and I think he just earned a spot on my bench.
You picked Theo Riddick for your...
I picked Theo Riddick. I kind of had a feeling about.
We thought the game was going to be opposite.
Yeah,
we thought the Lions would have to catch up, and Theo Riddick would be on the field.
Yeah, goddamn, did they shove that one down after
Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah, so he's just pencil Kerryon Johnson for that one. Wide receivers though weren't.
We did good at one position.
Well, you did pick Antonio Callaway.
I picked 2, first of all.
Oh yeah,
I picked Antonio Callaway, and then I said, because this is a Thursday night game, if we're only talking Sunday, give me Robert Woods. And Robert Woods was an absolute beast.
Yeah, he was.
Double-digit targets. 10 catches. Over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. They had no answer for him. And all the reasons that I thought he did well were on display. The Chargers didn't get blown out, so that Jared Goff still had to throw the ball.
Jared Goff's elite.
No. Robert Woods led the team in targets.
Yeah, no, he actually did.
gone in the end zone. I like
Twice.
this kid. He is a really good talent on one of the best offenses in the league.
And I picked Mike Williams, and he did good too. He also got in the end zone twice.
Mike Williams could. Who do you like more rest of the season, Robert Woods or Mike Williams?
Robert Woods.
Yeah, they're both good though. I
Robert
like
Woods
both
is just
of them
more
on the team.
consistent.
Yeah.
Mike Williams, I mean, he caught 4 passes for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like
Mike Williams has had a better season fantasy-wise than Keenan Allen so far.
Yeah.
They're both the number ones on the team so far. You only count 3 games.
you can't have 2 number 1s. That's like having 2 best friends make a decision.
Okay, good one.
Tight ends.
We did bad. All right.
I mean, you said you wanted to say O.J. Howard.
Yeah, I said I want to say O.J. Howard because I love his. I think he has a really good game. But I'm gonna go with the deeper Hail Mary. Will Dissly, awful, 1 catch,
terrible.
4 yards.
Jesse James, though, I picked him. I was so close. I mean, Vance
I knew it was the Steelers tight end.
I was like, I mean, it's basically like if it was a lottery ticket, I would have won like $2 and not the whole jackpot. But it's all right. We'll make some more picks Saturday, and
hopefully we do a little bit better than Hey, listen to our wide receiver picks though, because
they're good. There. Yeah, I mean the tight ends. No one gets the tight ends right. All the tight ends are bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can just go jump into some overreactions that people are talking about. There's been a few, and you kind of started this podcast off on a real negative note with the Patriots not being elite. You don't think they're elite anymore?
Elite as in top 3 in the AFC.
Yeah.
Jaguars, Kansas City Chiefs.
Exactly. You gonna put the Steelers there?
No, definitely not.
The Raiders, the
AFC
Dolphins.
West.
Put your Dolphins in there.
No, okay. I don't think they win the Super Bowl this year. I don't think they make the Super Bowl this year.
I mean, they might not.
That's what other like standard do you have for the Patriots though? If they're not in the Super Bowl,
I mean,
that's
they
not
can't go to the
one of
Super
better
Bowl
teams.
every year.
Why not?
It's tough to do. It's not that
I'm just saying this year. I'm not saying as an organization they're bad. This season, they do not have the best roster. Kansas City Chiefs, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think are a better team.
I feel like something's gonna happen where like something big's gonna happen, and like maybe someone goes down on another team, or maybe we just like get some guy.
Josh Gordon blows up, and he's just the best receiver in the league.
But even defensively though, like we need some defense. So I feel like something's gotta click there. But we'll see. Chris Hogan, is he droppable once Josh Gordon comes back? He's had like 2 back-to-back. Or he's had 2 pretty bad weeks. 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
He had 1 good week against the Jags.
We feel a little bit differently about this. You think he's a buy low candidate, and I think he's get him on your waiver wire type candidate.
Yeah, I mean, you saw. I mean, he did well last year with Brandon Cooks.
He has 2 catches every game this year so far, and that's with no Edelman, no Josh Gordon.
Yeah, but I feel like that helps him.
But how?
Because it takes the coverage off of him.
Okay,
like
Gronk is the number 1 option. Edelman is the number 2 option.
Gronk's
Josh Gordon is the number 3 option. James White is the number 4 option.
I would put Chris Hogan ahead of James White.
He hasn't been so far.
So far, that's different. Dolphins, they legit? Nope. Next, Ryan Fitzpatrick keeping his starting job. We talked about that.
1 more week.
Pat Mahomes had a bad week. What do you make of that?
That's his floor.
3 touchdowns?
3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Do you think he breaks the touchdown record?
No.
I
think he under 40 touchdown passes.
Over.
That's legit.
That's like literally.
That's awesome though.
Yeah, that's good. Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, Mitch Trubisky, Baker Mayfield. Who has a better fantasy season for the rest of the season?
Baby maker.
Gotta go with the baby maker. Dude's deadly. He's got Cleveland's electrified again. Juju, is he better than AB in fantasy football?
No.
In fantasy football?
No. I told Ari that I would try to trade Michael Thomas for Antonio Brown right now.
Wow.
Because you take that if you have AB, right?
Yeah. No. Because I'd be scared.
Exactly. I just give me AB. I would trade him for.
But if I had Michael Thomas, I'm not trading away for anything. Like he's doing amazing. Thursday night we got a pretty good game. Vikings Rams. Should be a good game. I mean, if the Vikings actually bring it, I'm assuming they won't show up like they did to Buffalo, and a fire might be lit under their butt.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do. Dalvin Cook, do you think he's playing?
On a short week, it's tough.
But I feel like they sat him.
Why do these think that? But why though?
I mean, I feel like because they were.
I feel like it's easier to sit him on a Thursday because he gets.
I feel like that's
games.
why they lost. Because like they were literally sitting Dalvin Cook because they were like,
"Oh, we already got this win."
Like the Bills are trash.
It's called a trap game.
Yeah.
That's what happens in college football. Oh, I'm playing Bama next week. I don't care that Old Dominion's coming in here, and
Yeah.
Old Dominion
That's
has a big upset
basically
this
like
weekend, but
what the college basketball tournament is based
Yeah.
on trap games. I mean, Akeem Talib's out.
yeah,
He
that
might-
sucks. Both starting
Is he?
corners are out for this week. Akeem
Yeah.
Talib is, they're saying, at least a month.
Wow.
And Marcus Peters is day to day, but it's Achilles, so I don't really know what can be wrong with your Achilles. That's only day to day.
I mean, they still have Joyner, so he's pretty solid. And I mean, they got good DBs still.
And they always bring pressure. So I think that, it's the only thing I want to say about this game is you feel a little bit better rolling out Thielen and Diggs than you would have if they're both starting. Everybody else just starting like normal.
Yeah, I don't think. I think I'm gonna sit Dalvin this week, even if he plays.
Regardless, yeah.
Even if he plays, it's not worth it.
Because obviously, Melvin Gordon looked good against the Rams this week, but
that's
Melvin
not
Gordon's on
worth it.
another level.
Yeah,
So.
and Latavius Murray, I'd bench him too.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean,
Who wins that game?
I'm hoping the Vikings. Like, I just want to see one of them.
I think the Vikings are a really good team. Like I said, I thought
they're good, but I feel like they're not ready to do it yet.
they were my Super Bowl pick. I said that the Vikings would beat the Rams in the NFC Championship
Do you know
game.
where is it?
I don't know.
If it's at home for the Vikings, then I'd say
I'll know tonight when I upload all the matchups onto HydeAndZeke.com.
HydeAndZeke.com. But yeah, so that's
Check it out.
Check it out, HydeAndZeke.com. Would like to thank PoofNewSales.com for sponsoring the show. First one to sponsor a show for us. That's
Yes.
a huge deal. So we're looking to get some more sponsorships. So if you guys want to sponsor our show and give us some free stuff, hit us up. But other than that, you can get all our content at HydeAndZeke.com. Rankings, it's all up there. We got our waiver wire picks, all of that stuff. We're going to update the rankings tonight. They should be fresh tomorrow morning, Wednesday. Let us know who you guys pick up for your waiver ads, and let us know who you guys want to drop. You can tweet us at HydeAndZeke. It's pretty simple. Just like we'll talk about who you need to drop, who you should drop to pick anybody up, because it's a tough week. We're starting to get deeper into the season, but check us out online and check us out on Twitter and follow us on Instagram as well. Peace.
You skipped